Welcome to IAS Market Talk, your trusted source for timely ag market insights, brought to you by Innovative Ag Services. Each week, we break down the latest beef market trends impacting Northeast Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, with expert updates tailored specifically for our IAS members. This week, you'll hear directly from Dave Rueber, IAS Beef Production Specialist, who brings decades of experience and deep knowledge of the cattle industry to these conversations. Dave has been providing market updates to producers for years, and now he's bringing those insights straight to you through this podcast. Tune in weekly for what you need to know straight from people you know. With that, here's Dave Rueber with the latest on what's happening in the cattle markets this week.
David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Ag Services, calling with a beef market commentary for February 18th. I will start out sending some thoughts and prayers to wildfire victims in the Panhandle and out west. Sounds like it's pretty scary out there. Towns affected, obviously. Grass affected, cow-calf and stocker operations. So pray for everybody's safety and that we get that kind of taken care of. We've been through this before, and it's been nasty in the past, and I'm sure we're going to have some major rebuilding for some of those operations out there. So thoughts going out to them. Cattle market last week, we'll start there. Not many cattle traded. One of the large majors, had some plant issues, and they're bringing some cattle from out west this way. So didn't really have to buy a lot of cattle. Another major didn't really buy any either. When those two big ones don't push the market, nothing really happens. So some of the smaller regional plants, we saw 245 locally, but not on very many cattle. So a lot of carryover to this week. The South would have sold cattle, Texas, Kansas would have been in that 248 to 250 range. So they're continuing to trend higher than what we are right now. And it looks like this week's going to be more of the same. I keep talking about box beef prices, and until they do something, it's going to be hard to sustain this. Now, I say that boxes have been weaker again this week, and we're thinking cash cow prices are going to trend higher again. Packer margins closer to minus 300 ahead right now. They were in that 200 to 250. So it's pretty ugly if you're on the processing side. Cattle prices this week going to probably be mid 240s for us and high 240s in the South, pushing 250. There was some Fed Cattle Exchange cattle traded in Texas for 249 today. Otherwise, really no trade yet this week. It's been Friday for the last month. Cattle don't do anything until we trade some Friday, and away we go. It'll be the same this week. Packers hoping that the board will show some weakness tomorrow. Today was kind of mixed, up a little, down a little. A tremendous cash market. I'm just nervous about the longevity of what can happen there. Feeder cattle prices continue to they're strong anyway. They're done going up a little bit, but boy, every sale you hear of prices that are wild and setting new records. Those 8-weight steers, 360s and 370s on some of them. 7-weight cattle pushing up there, not far from $4. These would be the high-end steers. The heifers are still running $30 to $50 back of the steers, which they need to be. Feeder cattle are not going to drop this time of year unless something catastrophic happens. Grass time kicks in. 5-weight calves bringing $5 a pound. That's not going to let yearlings soften up much either. So you're just going to see high-priced feeders now. That's just what it is. So backgrounder, he'll be in pretty good shape here, except he's got to buy back lightweight calves that are going to cost him an arm and a leg. Cost of gains right now, I would still kind of figure that $1.05 for heifers and either side of $1 for steers. That's kind of a broken record. That'd be using corn at $4.25, $4.30 right in there. These cattle are back on the profitable side for the most part with this market rallying up. Most of these guys are putting a lot of pounds on, and they're going to have to. We'll get to a point where that'll be a breaking point. We just can't keep raising that all the time. There's also negatives that come with making cattle big all the time, and we'll get into some of that too. But yeah, it's keep moving stuff there. Just don't sell them light. And then brace yourself when you got to buy something back. Once again, my name is David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Ag. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of IAS Market Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an update. And if you know a fellow producer who could benefit from this information, share this episode with them. For more updates and insights, visit innovativeag.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll catch you next time on IAS Market Talk.
Are you ready for a hands-on role with purpose? Join the facility operations team at Innovative Ag Services, where we value hard work, safety, and community. With locations across Northeast and Central Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, we offer industry-leading benefits, on-the-job training, and a culture that supports your growth. From competitive pay to a uniform allowance, we invest in our team. Grow with IAS and discover your co-opportunity. Apply today at innovativeag.com.